Good morning, everyone. Today we will talk about the population center in Asia. So, the Asian continent is one of the fastest growing continents in the world. With increasing urbanization and high rate of cities, Tokyo in Japan is the world's largest metropolitan area by population. So, for East Asia, we have Japan, South Korea, China, and Taiwan. For South Asia, we have India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. And for Southeast Asia, we have Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore. And lastly, for West Asia, we have Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. Now, let's talk about the customs and traditions. Asia is an extraordinary continent full of diverse cultures, traditions, religions, languages, and cuisines. Surely Asia encompasses a wealth of unique, fun, and fascinating activities that suit the taste of a multitude of travelers. But above all, it has a culture that is far enough removed from our own that it opens up a whole new world of experiences. So, why we should spend time learning or even knowing the cultures and traditions of different countries? Well, understanding different cultures allow you to be more open, accepting, and tolerant of other people. Understanding different cultures is more than having an appreciation of our differences, but paving the way for a new world where we all stand together. So, first, let's talk about the customs in ancient countries. So, first, we will have the different ways of greeting someone. So, for Japan and South Korea, of course, we already knew how do they greet, and that is through bowing. And of course, in Thailand, we have what we call the Y, putting hands together in a prayer gesture, just like this. And of course, the next one we have kicking off your shoes. So, one of the most common Asian traditions is taking off your shoes. You'll find yourself removing your shoes before you enter homes and temples. In some cases, oil is often used during prayers. So you might end up getting slip or if you're not being careful. In addition, removing your shoes is also an act of courtesy, or shall we say and it's all about keeping your home clean. So you just don't want to step on somebody's home with a fully furnished floor. You're just gonna stop your shoes, right? Next, mind your head and feet. So in many Asian countries, the head is considered the most sacred part of the body. You should never touch anyone on the head, even children or Buddha statues. On the other hand, you should never point the soles of your feet at anyone or anything sacred. It looks like you're giving them the finger. Next, we have slurping is good. Slurping means you're enjoying the food and it displays politeness and courtesy in dining etiquette for Asians. Of course, we already know that Asians love noodles. So, of course, slurping with noodles always shows that you're probably enjoying the dish. Next, sharing your food. Sure thing Asians love to share food. We can't deny the fact that as Filipinos, we love to gather in great numbers in every occasion, sharing the festive foods with family, relative, friends, or even strangers. Next, we have pouring drinks. If you're a K-drama addict like me, then I surely know that you have observed this culture in South Korea, especially featuring the most favorite drinks of Koreans, which is soju. In many Asian countries, You should wait for someone else to pour the drinks for you, or else you'll be seen as greedy and disrespectful person. Next, we have public display of affection. So, unlike Western culture, Asian culture is very traditional. So, showing public display of affection is considered rude. To avoid discretion, save the public display of affection for your room. Next, we have holding hands. On the flip side, hand holding between people of the same gender is totally okay in many Asian countries like India. It is simply a sign of companionship. What a lovely way to express your friendship, right? Next, we have tipping. So I'm sure everybody loves to dine in restaurants or to check in hotels for a vacation, right? So let's talk about the tipping in Asian culture. So while more touristy restaurants and hotels will include gratuity on the bill, leaving a cash tip is not really expected in many Asian cultures. Next, we have gift giving. So, how do Asians give gifts to other people? So, if you want to give someone a gift in Asia, remember to check upon the etiquettes and traditions before you do. So, in China, people will always refuse your gift a few times before accepting, and you should never give someone a clock. So probably in Asian cultures we have different taboos when we have this gift giving. So for example, just like in China, you should never give someone a clock. So as far as I know, in South Korea, you are not allowed, or you shouldn't give pair of shoes as a gift to your partner, because that will just show or just means that you are giving him or her the opportunity to walk away from you. Well, in my case, I do believe in that, so I never ever give someone shoes. Next, we have squat toilets. So I'm sure that squat toilets are very popular in Asian countries. It may be daunting at first if you used to Western toilets, but if you're traveling around Asia, you'll soon get used to it. You've just got to practice and build up your leg strength. It's much healthier for your bowels. Next, we have Asian New Year traditions. So, all around the world, we have different ways on how we celebrate New Year. And it's just not that we have different ways to celebrate it, but we also have different day. When do we celebrate the New Year? So in most Asian cultures, the New Year is a big deal, and they don't all celebrate it on January 1st, unlike Philippines. So China, Vietnam, and South Korea follow the lunar calendar, so they celebrate it at the start of February, while Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos celebrate their Buddhist New Year in April. So that's it for the customs of Asian countries. So it's important that we must always remember these customs for you not to be a rude tourist. So let's have now the traditions. Okay, heritage is defined as the customs and traditions that are handed down from generation to generation of families and societies. A person, just like Asian heritage, is someone whose family originates from Asia. So let's check out some Asian traditions. So first, of course, I think Asians love holidays, right? Especially Philippines. Philippines has a lot of holidays. So despite the name, Chinese New Year is actually celebrated in a lot of countries. The 2019 Chinese New Year is the Year of the Pig, celebrated on February 5th. So each year it is named after one of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. So we have next the Qingming Festival. So Qing means pure or clean, while Ming means brightness, also known as Grave Sweeping Day because people had to go to the cemetery to clean graves. Next, we have the Holi Festival of India. So Holi Festival, it is a spring festival. So for 2 days, people party it by dropping powdered colors from the rooftops. This festival is held to celebrate the defeat of the mythical creature called Holika. And next, Buddhism. So in Asian culture, we have various religions. So it varies from different countries. Just like the Philippines, of course, commonly we have the Roman Catholic, right? Most of Filipinos have the Roman Catholic religion. And some Asian countries have Buddhism, Confucianism, and so on. So while there are many religions in Asia, as there anywhere be, Buddhism is one of the predominant ones. It is a response to the life and teachings of Gautama Siddhartha, who was given the title Buddha or Awakened One. Next, we will talk about some of the most famous food in Asia, which is dim sum. So a traditional Chinese meal consists of various small dishes with different kinds of foods including steamed or fried dumplings. So I'm sure some of you have tried dim sum. Right? So next we have the drinks, which is the tea. So tea plays a major part of the most Asian cultures, whether it's in China, India, Malaysia, or South Korea. So I think a lot of Asians really like tea, aside that it contributes to it gives you a lot of health benefits. It's also a drink that is being served to welcome a visitor in your home. Next, we have hot under the collar. However you choose to deal with an issue in Asia, getting angry with someone is not going to get you anywhere. ACT as a whole works on the nation of saving face when it comes to social interaction. Anger management is essential in visiting Asia. Next, we have dress for success. Across Asia, local people dress conservatively and neatly. In Myanmar, for example, both men and women wearing long yi, a cylindrical shaped sarong. So when you go for a trip in Asia, better follow the lead of the locals. So you're not allowed to wear anything that you would love to wear. You need to respect the country's culture and the way they dress in order for you not to be discriminated or criticized in their society. So next we have temples and mosques. So in Asia, places of worship is also the big tourist spots, right? Especially in Philippines, we have a lot of historical churches which a lot of tourists also would love to visit. So as mentioned previously, dress modestly, covering your shoulders and legs, remove your shoes before entering. Those are just few sacred practices. We need to be careful in visiting temples and mosques, right? Since it's not our churches, it's not our religion, so we must respect what rules or regulations we need to follow whenever we visit their temples and mosques. So that would be all for population center and customs introductions of Asia.